What is up, CineNerds?
I'm JP.
And I'm Ryan. And happy Halloween. It's here.
Is finally here. Well, day before Halloween, but it's here.
It's here enough. I'm looking forward. We got the yard decorated. We got the fire pit ready. We're gonna enjoy some drinks, hand out some candy, and let the kids do their thing. I'm excited.
I'm just going to be sitting at home, and yeah, that's going to be about it. I have to work third shift on Halloween night, so uh, yeah,
Boo.
so I got to be at work at 10 o'clock, so I won't be doing much of anything. So
That's fair. I can understand that. I work during the day on Halloween, but the evening is definitely free. Um, Yeah, well, let's get back into it though. Seriously though, guys, happy Halloween. Another year's passed here for us. So
and
we're moving
and
along.
and this is a take two for us on this episode. So
Yes. And for those of you who don't know, I'll let JP decide if he shares details now, but JP had a little bit of a medical event, a little bit of fun, if you will. And we actually had to stop filming, and the guy scared the shit out of me.
yeah, we got about what, maybe 4 minutes into recording this
Yeah.
episode, and I just couldn't breathe. I could breathe, but it was like I couldn't get oxygen, and I ended up going to the ER and cutting the episode. Like I was like, Ryan, I can't do this. Like, we recorded last week's episode, and then we immediately went to record this episode, and I cut it off after about 3 or 4 minutes, and was like, I have to go to the hospital.
Like, and he's downplaying it a little bit because, like, literally, I looked at him, he was lost his breath, and I was like, "What? Are you okay, dude? What's going on?" Like, it really freaked me out.
Yeah. Oh, it freaked you out. Let me tell you, it freaked
Well,
me out. If I go to the ER, it's bad because I don't go to the ER or doctors or for anything.
so for previous episodes, I have dabbled and explained that in this episode where we cover the Amityville Horror, I'll be going through
And we've been having some technical difficulties with Ryan tonight. He's had some internet issues, so we might have some cuts in this where I'm gonna have to edit some of this audio and video because he's been having internet issues, and he's been posting about it. Was hoping we was gonna be able to get through this without any issues, but evidently we're not. Ugh.
All right. So if we were to snip this, where would we be starting?
Wherever you left off,
Well,
I think you were going into some kind of story.
okay. So no, not the story, but part of the beginning. All right. So we had the medical issue with JP, and it really kind of blew my mind because it's this episode. So I'm going to be telling a story on this episode about my personal experience at Amityville, the actual house. And when I tell the story, it may be coincidental, the things that happened, but it freaked me the hell out, and it'll stay with me for the rest of my life. So coincidentally, when we go to film this episode, and I've already talked about sharing the story, JP has a medical emergency. So I'm furthering this thing saying that it is evil.
So, first impressions of this movie. You want to go? You want me to go?
Uh, sure. I guess I can go on this one too. The first impressions is that the movie doesn't do the actual house justice. It's an older film, but it definitely, I feel like this film is still a solid film. It still has the heebie-jeebies for those who haven't been there, and it's a good, fun, just scary movie. But all in all, it's definitely aged a little poorly, and it's got its issues. But I the house still scares the hell out of me, so I don't care.
Well, I've never been to the house, and I watched this film as a kid because it was kind of told to me that this was essential. This was so scary, and I had to watch it. And as a kid, I hated this film. Did not like this film at all. And my opinion really hasn't changed much. I've not. I think this may only be a third watch for me. I can't remember something like that.
So
Uh,
the way you said that though, you said as a kid, like, was it like scary or just you just didn't care for it?
I just didn't think it was good.
Okay.
Didn't think it was good, and I don't remember watching this film again until the remake came out, and I watched the remake, and then I rewatched the original just to kind of compare them because I knew a lot of people that was giving the remake a lot of hate at the time, and I remembered not caring for the original, and I kind of remember watching the remake and thinking, I mean, I'm still not a fan, but it's okay, you know. And I don't remember ever feeling like that about the original. Um, and yeah, I mean, I kind of when I rewatched it, then I was kind of like, yeah, yeah, just wasn't. There's things I like about it, but there's a lot that just bored me to death in this movie, and even in the remake, you know. Um, so, and I don't remember watching this film again until this viewing.
The remake gave a little bit of life to it, but the remake also made it, I don't know, I felt more of a The Shining vibe from the remake than I did from the original. The original, what I liked about it was the simplicity of it. The simplicity of it, which I could see a lot of people feeling that was boring, but the simplicity of it is what made it scary because this is based on actual events, actual things that happened. And so that in itself was horrific to me. Um, so yeah, the DeFeos and you have the Lutzes and the way these things went for those two families is pretty insane. And it's really kind of odd too to when you hear any of the backstory to hear the different claims, the different things that happened. The the surviving person who did the murders of the DeFeos, he essentially said that voices made him do it, and he tried to plead the insanity plea with that, and he tried to stake that as his claim, and no one wanted to hear it. Everyone else just thought he just was a horrible human being who killed his family. So it's just kind of eerie.
You know, and I'm sure there may be people yelling at me in the chat or if they're watching later or listening. But one thing I remember comparing the remake, and like I said, I've only ever watched that remake one time, so don't hold this as gospel. I watched that remake one time when it originally came out, and I remember thinking the transition from loving stepfather, newlywed stepfather, to going kind of psycho more believable with Ryan Reynolds than I did with James Brolin.
Ryan Reynolds, he definitely had some moments in that, and I appreciated it. God, I'm drawing a blank. I just found out Ryan Reynolds has like a 2005, 2006 horror film, and I've got it in my queue, but I can't remember the name for the life of me. But
Mm.
anyways, he plays a good.
I've probably seen it, but I'm not thinking of what it could be right now.
He plays a great antagonist, great villain, great crazy person. So I'm here for it.
So, you want to dive into this film?
We can dive in. Let's go.
So, and again, I watched this film on this, and I was hoping. I was actually at this point, I was kind of hoping to rewatch it, get a chance to rewatch this film again before we recorded again, because originally we was going to film this episode like 3 weeks ago or so, and we got
Yeah, I'm in the
delayed.
same boat.
We got delayed. We got delayed, and there's a lot that I'm going to miss about this film. Because I did, it's not like I watched it yesterday. This time it was a few weeks ago when we were going to originally record. But I mean, quick synopsis of the movie. The movie starts with uh, it's the son. It's an older son that does the killing in the at the beginning of the film, isn't he? He comes in and kills his father, mother, and
Yep.
the brother and sister. That's how the film starts, and then
There
from
were six
there,
of them,
yeah,
so
okay,
he
yeah,
killed six. Yeah.
yeah, his whole family essentially. But then it jumps from
Hmm.
there, and you see James Brolin and Margot Kidder looking at this house, and they end up purchasing this house. And this house has spirits in it or something, demons, whatever is in there. It is causing them to hear things and see things, and things happen that make them go kind of makes people go crazy, obviously, and it escalates from there. And that's kind of the gist of this movie.
I mean, it's a standard haunting movie, but it
Yeah.
also for you gotta remember, so this came out the year I was born. So if you can see by my beard, it's been some time. So this came out in 1979, and, the reality is that when
My
it came
God, you're
out
so old.
I know, I'm the oldest. But when it came out, it was the highest grossing independent movie of all time. And so this you gotta say that's gotta have some kind of merit to it. I mean, it to me, that just shows that this carried some feistiness.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it right now. There was way better independent films that came out before this one. It's just luck of the draw with this one.
You can say that all you want. I'm saying this movie has substance. And again, you got to remember. So the backstory here with the DeFeos, Ronald DeFeo is the older son, and then you have the Lutz family that did come into this in real life. And so there's numerous elements of real stories of what's going on in this house. There's been talks of it being an old Indian burial ground. There's been talks of numerous things around this house, so to me, all that with the simplicity of this film, it just made for an easy like. And this is before I even went to the house, and because at this juncture in my life, I'm at the point where I'm like, "Ooh, haunted, creepy, let's go." And I'll tell you what, I tread cautiously now as I make those decisions.
So I'm going to go ahead and say something off the bat because I'm sure everybody's already understanding that I'm probably not a fan of this film. I'm going to say I love the look of this film. I think the look of this, I love 70s films anyway. So like that whole 70s vibe style, and I love how this film is shot. I think the house is creepy looking. I mean, the look of the house is
The
iconic.
eyes,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's iconic. Like I love the how iconic that house is. Yeah, there are things I love about this film, and there is one jump scare in this fucking film, and I'm not a big jump scare guy. I think that's something that gets overused a lot in a lot of films, and there's one jump scare in this fucking film that is just perfectly timed, and it's a fucking fantastic jump scares. So I'm throwing some positive stuff out there right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's so the negatives to me. I hate to agree in with JP here, but Margot Kidder, just she
Actually, I want to cut you off right there. I know where you're going, and you can finish, but I'm actually going to read one of my notes as I was because I write my I don't blah, 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 I can't talk. When I write my notes, I kind of write them as I'm watching with what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling as I'm watching. So in my notes, I wrote Margot Kidder.
did you put in parentheses sigh like deep breath sigh?
Kinda.
Okay.
It was dot dot dot. So yeah,
Oh boy.
might as well. Margot Kidder. This is probably her best role. And it still isn't great because she is a horrible actress, but this is probably her best role.
Okay, well, again, that's something. But at the same token, to me, I did feel she fell short here. Now, Brolin, something man. I think he carries this film. I like everything he does. The angst, the way you see him actually like almost grinding his teeth when he's getting upset when the possession comes in. But so yeah, I don't know, but she was just every time she was in camera, I was just like uh, uh, and damn you, JP, you were the one who made that an issue for me because we were talking about it through the Superman reviews, and yeah.
Yeah,
But anyways,
she's awful. I mean, she is the absolute worst Lois Lane, and in my favorite Superman film, and she is the worst Lois Lane, and she is the absolute worst thing in that film. And had she been casted differently, God, that Superman could just be untouchable, forever. But
I mean, it still is.
it still is. But there's a chance somebody could do Superman better because Margot Kidder sucks so bad in those films.
Our new Superman, I completely forgot he was in Twisters, but I digress.
I haven't watched that
Um,
yet, so
I have to watch it all the time. My son wants to be a, storm chaser, and so Twister is his favorite movie of all time, and then Twisters we watch as well. So,
So
um,
you're talking about Josh Brolin, how great he was in this film. Actually,
oh
now
no.
I said James Brolin. Um, I agree. I agree. Whenever he's psycho, he's great in this film. Now, James Brolin is great in this film, but from start to finish, he kind of seems like an asshole from start to finish. So his transition isn't drastic for me. I actually thought that I actually wrote in my notes, Josh Brolin never sells me on being a caring husband or or a caring person to his stepkids. So his descent into madness isn't very drastic for me.
Um, I mean, Eh, so that goes back to that simplicity sake, for me. So it's kinda streamlined, like, you see, because he's not an actual dad, he's a stepdad, and so he's trying to deal with someone else's kid's behavior. Clearly, he loves his wife, but taking on stepchildren can be a lot, and so that's where I also found a realistic approach with this. So he was just kinda trying to find that middle ground, find out what made sense of where he could be the father figure, where he couldn't. I took note to that stuff, and I mean, the creepy possession angles when those things start kicking in too, though, those take it to a different level. Like the wood chopping scene, like that was so
Oh,
over the top.
the wood chopping, like, yeah, those are scenes that are just fucking maddening. They're great. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Don't get my statement wrong with James Brolin. Some of those scenes, yeah, he's absolutely over the top fantastic in. It's just, I mean, a child fucking falls. He like, I'm trying to remember, but I feel like there was a child that like fell down the steps or something, and he's like, "What happened? What's wrong?" And he's so monotone, and I get that. I'm monotone. You hear me on here a lot, and I'm just like, "Hey, how you doing?" "Yeah." Blah 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 blah. But as a caring stepfather, you would think you'd be rushing up and going, "Hey, are you okay? Are you hurt?" I mean, there was little things like that that just it took me out of it for when he actually was great in those scenes. Like if he had been a bit more concerned or caring towards people, his new family, in a lot of scenes, and then went to like those wood chopping scenes and was like so over the top as he was in those scenes, it would have made for a completely different dynamic in that film for him. And it would have I would have made it more believable for me.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, to me, it's I have to look at it like this. So that came out in 1979. The
Different
Exorcist
time
is
period.
another one. Different time period completely. Because like, I think I've mentioned this plenty of times too on the podcast. But when I've shown like my daughters, they were 16 and 14. I let them start watching scary movies, and I went with Night of the Living Dead. I went with The Exorcist, and they literally looked at me like, "That's it, Dad? Really? That's scary to you?" I'm like, "It was horrific when I was a kid. Like, what do you mean?" And then I put on the Dawn of the Dead remake where the zombies were fast and all of a sudden their blankets were up over their face. And, you had to find those newer modern elements because times change. So this movie with the simplistic sake, with the low budget, with the independent aspect, I can understand how it's not for everyone. But JP, do you have any other, I've got a minute with this story I'm about to do. So do you have anything else to put in there or am I going to dig into the story now?
Um, I just got one more thing to say before you dive into your story. Margot Kidder sucks.
That's fair. Okay. So, the year, let's look back at the year. The year was 2005. We were attending a friend's wedding in the Hamptons. And so we were in New York and we were driving through and we saw the sign for Amityville. And we were like, that's kind of rad because we didn't know it was there. I'd never, young kid at that time, and I don't get out of Ohio that much, so I was like, I didn't even know where Amityville was located. I just knew it was on water somewhere. So we're on the way back from the wedding, and we're like, you know what? Let's stop there. And when we said those exact words, and I'm going to be saying things that sound like they're dramatized or to get rise out of you guys, I'm not just making stuff up. This is legitimately what happened. We went from completely clear, beautiful blue skies from the moment we said, let's go to Amityville to see the house. All of the sudden, the skies turned completely gray, completely cloudy, and there was a giant black cloud behind that gray coming in. So we were like, that's kind of odd. So we had never been to Amityville. We pull into a gas station and I walk into the gas station and I go to the clerk. It's a little old Asian lady. And I go, "Hey, I'm just a tourist. I'm curious to see the Amityville house. Could you point me in the right direction?" And before I can even finish the word direction, this is like something out of an actual horror film. She's like, "No, you go now. You go, you go." And she like pointed me out the door and walked me out of the store. She didn't even want me in there. I was like, Jesus. So I go back in the car. There's myself and four others, including my wife. I go back into the car and we see a mailman. And my wife goes, "Mailman, he'll tell you. He knows everything. He knows all the locations. He knows all this. He's the guy you want to talk to." So I go grab the mailman. The mailman's like, "Okay, you want to go here? You want to turn here? You want to go here and then turn there?" He goes, "When you get to the house, it's not going to look the same. They've removed the eyes because they wanted to take away that scary aspect and they wanted to have more privacy and kind of make the house blend in." I'm like, interesting. So we go there and we drive and we park on this little side street because you can't park like on the actual street where the house is at. And we get out of the we get out of this and we have to walk about maybe a quarter mile to get to the house from where we park. During the quarter mile walk, these people, I found out later that the people who lived in the house before the current owners tried to make this into a tour. So they were trying to let the house be a tour where people could come see the house, do like a I don't know what they were trying to do, but essentially these neighbors chased them out. Now, these neighbors are sick of people coming to see the house. So they literally are like a cult, and I get it, it's their neighborhood. They're coming out in the front stoops with their arms crossed and just staring at us. And we're like, "What is going on?" Like, it felt like we were in an episode of The Twilight Zone. So, we get to the actual house, and at this point, it wasn't just me, someone else said it. We literally, all 5 of us could not breathe. It felt like somebody was standing on our chests, like they were holding the full weight of somebody on us, and it was so hard to breathe. The guy that was the extra with us, there was my best friend and his wife, my wife, myself, and then we had an extra guy with us who's part of the wedding. He was with us and we didn't really know him that well and he didn't have very many boundaries because he ran his ass down the driveway because he wanted to see the boathouse. And I'm like, "Buddy, somebody lives here. You're gonna get yourself shot. What are you doing?" I'm
Yeah.
trying to drag him back up the driveway. And but the boathouse, it's like exact to the movie. It's even because if you guys don't know by now in this movie, it's not the actual location, it's a different location. So the actual house and you see it in person in real life is it just kind of takes you back a second. So saw the boathouse, saw the house, kind of got out of there. That's the end of the visit in Amityville, but this is where the story gets weird. So we leave, we get back the next day, and this is day one. And I say day one because there's 3 days. The first day we're back, we find out that during the time that we were in Amityville, a dear friend of ours and her daughter were in a severe car accident, and the daughter lost her life. She was 6 at the time. And we were all really broken up about this. It really messed with us. Like my daughter played with that little girl, and it we were broken up. There was a lot going on, and so we were a little tripped up. So that was day one. Day two, my best friend's wife that was with us, she had never seen any of the Amityville movies, didn't know anything about the story, didn't know anything about it. My buddy comes home from work day two, and she is singing "Jesus Loves Me, Yes He Does." She doesn't know why. She's just singing it. And my buddy's like, "Why are you singing that? Like, seriously, why are you did you watch the movie?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And he played the little girl part where she's singing this. And so that really kind of put us over the edge. He called me and he told me that happened. And that wasn't the end of it because then we get to day three and now we're at the funeral and they're lowering our friend's daughter into the ground and they play Jesus Loves Me. Yes, he does. So all these things, yes, they could absolutely be just, coincidence, the way things fell, the way they lined up. But I felt when I was standing in front of that house like it was evil incarnate. And I don't say that lightly. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in hauntings. I don't believe in the usual shit that everyone gets all hyped up for. I am the skeptic of all skeptics. this house changed that for me because yes, I didn't see ghosts. Yes, I didn't see any demons, nothing like that. But the energy that's coming out of that house that could take my complete breath out of my chest and four others, and then feel like where everything was just going in a negative direction. And then we get ready to film this episode, and JP has a medical situation. So this house, I firmly believe, is just actual evil. And I did do my own digging into the backstory of the land that the house is built on. It's not Indian burial ground. Unfortunately, the Lutzes and the movie companies, they added that element to hype the promotion and marketing of the movie. But it is built on an actual cemetery. So there is a haunting element from that aspect too. So just craziness.
So, since you're the one that visited the house, you're the one that brought the bad juju that sent me to the ER last week.
I think it's because I was talking about it. So when you see in movies where you talk about an evil and it gives it power. I feel like that's absolutely it. So I hate to be giving anything power in that house, but it's really creepy. I've only felt that same intensity and that weight and pressure on my chest one other time, and that was when my family and I were in the Outer Banks, and we went to a place in Hatteras called the Shipwreck Museum, and they have this giant American flag in there that was recovered from a shipwreck where I think it was like some crazy number. I think it was like either 60 to 100, somewhere in that ballpark, if I remember correctly. Sailors lost their life. And this flag was displayed. And when my wife and I got in the room, that exact feeling was there. And we ran. We ran so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been to the Outer Banks a lot, growing up in North Carolina, so there's some creepy areas out there that just kind of make you feel uneasy.
I mean, the shipwreck coastline alone. I mean, there's so many shipwrecks throughout there. So it's insane.
Um, so we talk about the one jump scare that fucking actually got me. Let me pull my notes up here. Okay, yeah. It's Josh Brolin. I keep calling him Josh Brolin. James Brolin goes downstairs to the living room and sits down, and the fucking cat jumps in the fucking window and does the sound effect on that fucking cat. I mean, it's like,
That was my ear. Thank you.
well, that's how it was on the TV too, man. I mean, it was that jump scare got me. I'm not even gonna lie. That was a fucking jump scare, and it was that audio track too, just as much as the cat jumping up. Like it was fucking good. I'm not. That was a solid jump scare.
And James Brolin, by the way, being Josh's father, I think it's okay that you have those mix up. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, he looks just like him now that he's grown. So
I don't know. I don't know. So my question for all of you listening and watching right now is, what's a movie that scared you horrifically and stayed with you? Put those in the comments. We want to see them. We want to know what they are. And furthermore, I mean, if you can type as much as you can, put your little ghost stories in there. I want to know ghost stories too. I want to hear all of the goodies. It's Halloween, and let's get in the mood.
do you
Let's
know
get
the
weird.
do you know the movie that fucked with me the most
The
growing up?
Amityville Horror.
No. It's even more silly.
Oh no.
So, and it's not even a horror film. There's this series of films that stars porn stars from the 80s. I think they started in the late 70s or at least early 80s and through the 80s and on into the early 90s. But they were like spy and espionage and action films starring porn stars. One of which was
It-
called Hard Ticket to Hawaii. You ever see this
Jeez.
one?
No. Sounds like Debbie does Dallas.
I mean, the film's great. I mean, the whole series of films like through the 80s were great. There was a shit ton of them they did. Um, but one of them in particular was called Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Now, one of the things about this film was there was this giant snake that was like something genetically changed with it, that it was like extremely poisonous, and it gets loose. And so at the end of the movie, there's a scene where one of the spy girls that's a porn star, she like flushes a toilet, and the toilet explodes, and this giant snake jumps up, like comes up out of the toilet, going like,
You sure this wasn't Chillerama?
I'm gonna be honest with you. As a small kid, I did not sit on a toilet for years. I hovered over toilets when I took a shit because of this fucking snake scene.
There were a multitude of, snake and rat movies that did that in the '80s. I think they definitely had like, I think Rats was one of them. And then I myself, I don't know if the, listeners, know what these are, but they're called tokay geckos. It's a probably about an 8-inch long gecko, and these things are incredibly angry. They almost bark, right? So mine got loose in my house. He dropped his tail, fought my cats, and he beat my cats and he ran and he hid. And that was the end of it, or so I thought. And then I went to take a deuce, and guess who's underneath the rim of the toilet? This fucker bit me in the butt. I still have the mark on my ass, and I jumped up so fast that I hit the wall in front of the toilet. And I did last thing I saw, this was that lizard running out of the bathroom. So I always check a toilet before I sit down.
Uh, my favorite scene in this film, get back to Amityville Horror, the um the nightmare sequence of him killing his family.
Yep.
Man, that was a great fucking scene. Jesus, that was for the set for 79. Like that scene was intense. I mean,
Are you
if
talking about the intro?
no, James
No?
Brolin's nightmare
Oh, where
sequence
he's doing it. Yeah, yeah.
where he's killing is him killing his kid and hitting her in the head, hitting Margot Kidder in the head. Like it was just a super fucking really cool scene. And I don't know, for me it was like if a lot more of this movie felt like this scene, this film would have just it could have been really fucking intense.
I think we've talked about this before. I am the type of person who likes to see the movie devil's advocate style, right? So to me, again, those are simplicity moments. The most of the movie is so simplistic that when those moments pop, they pop so hard because they're not par for the course for the rest of the movie, and they make the movie to me. So I mean, it's we'll say what's our favorite word? The pacing is
Mm.
not great, but the moments that matter are for me.
Yeah, yeah. There's the pacing in this film is fucking awful, but the moments are great.
Blah blah blah. Hater.
What do you think actually stopped him from killing his family?
Love.
I saw no love in this fucking film, man.
Listen, no, 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 no. There was so even with the Ryan Reynolds one, that was kind of peculiar to me, obviously. Even the Ryan Reynolds one in the remake, there it had the same feel in both instances, where when they're leaving, you don't like what made him flip the script, why did it
Mhm.
stop? And I think that just even them getting away from the yard allowed um that energy to hold, it allowed them to hold on until they were far enough away. So, yeah, no, it was very peculiar, you're right. It was very
Mhm.
odd, it broke it up, and it left a lot more questions, like, is he still possessed? Is it following them? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, like, when he decided not to kill his family and to get out of the house, like, it didn't line up for me. I was like, "Where's the character development or something that's gonna tell me a reason of why he flipped the script back to, 'Hey, let's get the fuck out of here,'" because nothing led me to believe that what would you know, what kills the demon? Love. Love kills the demon. I didn't get that.
It didn't kill the demon's still there,
I mean,
but it just they escaped.
I'm taking a quote from Natural Born Killers, man.
Fair, fair.
Love kills the demon.
I wasn't
Um,
quoting when I said that, but that's funny.
I was. um, But I did love that at the end of the film, after he gets out, he goes back for Harry to save Harry, and Harry is the family dog.
Um, so I gotta say, I love that the scenes of the basement in this movie are so over the top. They're so dark and dingy, and that's like that something's coming from there.
Mhm.
It's but in reality, the Amityville house, it's a fully finished basement and a rec room. it's it's nothing of the sort. But no, the basement sequences, both old and remake, were definitely gave a little good vibe to it. um, I like that there's no physical manifestation per se in this movie, outside of what you
Yeah,
go ahead.
I don't think it needs a physical
Right.
manifestation. It just needs it needs better it needs a better female lead, and it needs that can sell this movie, and it needs James Brolin that's selling evil to actually be able to sell loving and caring.
See that I like I said, I did not have a problem with that scenario, but the Mario Kidder, okay, yeah. So with her though, for that time, she was the quintessential lead. And
Yeah.
both these actors are phenomenal in their own right for that time, and, I believe Brolin for sure, I don't know about Kidder, but, Brolin took a pay cut to do this film, significant pay cut because it was an independent film and he wanted to see it through. So
Margot Kidder probably got paid in drugs or alcohol.
wow, you know what's you, this we're gonna we're gonna have to do an episode on our top 5 most hated actors because I feel like Margot is gonna be on yours.
She won't be my number 1 though, but she's definitely gonna be up there.
Yeah, I think we both know our number 1, if it's me at least.
Um, yeah, one thing
Anakin. Sorry.
that's actually not my number 1. There's actually somebody that I actually refuse to watch their movies because I hate them so bad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Um, and I'll give you a hint. He's in one of my favorite movies. Well, one of my favorite Patrick Swayze movies.
And it's not Patrick Swayze. Um,
Oh no, Patrick Swayze was a fucking treasure. Did
is
you ever
he
did you ever see the acting chops that guy had from fucking Roadhouse all the way to Donnie Darko? Yeah.
wait, I'm having a brain fart. Swayze was in Darko?
Yeah, he was the dance teacher.
That's right. Totally forgot. That's a movie that deserves a rewatch. I gotta go back. I'm gonna watch that and the subpar sequel.
S. Darko got a lot of hate, but I actually liked S. Darko.
Of course you did, and then you hate Amityville. You
Um, I did put in my notes only because, well, I mean, because it happened. The At the very beginning of the movie, when the priest comes to bless the house, and he's in the room, and the flies start coming all over him.
the
Um,
honey.
I put priest with flies. The only thing I could think of was fucking James Woods in Scary Movie, where he's like, "Release this demon," and the flies are all flying all over his face.
I think to film that scene, they had to actually pour, or wait, sorry, honey was rubbed on him on his head to draw the flies to him. So that's kinda interesting.
All they needed was fucking James Woods shitting on a toilet, like in Scary Movie, and they could have got the same effect.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I'm in rare form tonight. Can you see? Can you
Yeah.
tell?
You're not medically, in a coma this time, so we're good.
Since quitting smoking and getting past everything last week, I've got a little more pep in my step.
Yeah, I mean, that was what really took you out of your element at that moment was because you were having withdrawals from the nicotine.
No, it wasn't withdrawals. I'll explain it to you later, but it was definitely because of me quitting smoking was why.
Ding.
It wasn't the Amityville horror that caused it.
Well, obviously, but it is coincidental again. I'm just saying.
Uh, I did not look at budget, box office, or anything for this film
Why not, JP?
because it was your film, and I thought
This is
I'll do some guessing.
you'll actually follow the premise this time?
Hey, I followed it multiple times, and you're the one who's, oh, I looked at
No,
it.
you didn't look up your own movies, and I had to find them.
No, it's
Anyways.
because I had my phone going to pull it up, and then you're like, well, I'm going to look at it.
Mhm. Alright, so if
Uh,
you had to guess, what was the budget for this movie?
I'm figuring this budget was low. I'm figuring it was a pretty minor budget. I'm gonna go with 2 or 3 million.
You know what? I'm kinda mad reading this because for that time, this almost had a $5 million budget.
Well,
So
I wasn't way off, but
no, but,
that's
like,
a lot more than what I thought.
for it
Yeah,
to rave about being an independent film and for it to, we're hearing about characters taking pay cuts. I'm like, it couldn't have had that much of a pay cut. That's a substantial budget. So,
yeah.
gross US and Canada
You
or
gonna let me
gross, or do you
guess?
wanna do worldwide?
You
I
gonna
I
let me
am, I
guess?
am.
Oh, okay.
I was asking the
I was
question.
jumping in. I was
You gonna let
jumping
me
in
finish
there.
my sentence?
I'm jumping in there before you just spit a number out. I know how you
Put me
get.
in, coach. Put me in. No,
um, I'm
it's the
gonna do.
same number, so
I'm just gonna do worldwide because I was gonna say I'm not sure if this actually got a worldwide release, and if it was, I bet it was limited worldwide at the time in '79. Um, highest grossing, it was rated R, '79. I'm gonna say 18 million.
way the frick off.
Really?
Yeah. So this crushed. So it says gross US and Canada, and then it says gross worldwide. They're the same number. So I think you're right. I think you're spot on. It was just US and Canada. But 86,432,000.
Are you
So
sure that's not accounting for inflation? Because that just sounds way too
no,
massive.
it's the box office in IMDb, sir.
I think IMDb adjusted for inflation.
No, what you know what? I hear that argument a lot, and I do there is substance to that. There is definitely substance to that. But no, I mean, and that's one of the reasons why at the time this held the best, best independent film release of all time. I think it got what was the movie we talked about last time that a year later did it better? Uh Frick, there was another movie that came out in '80 that was like a better was it I think it was The Shining came out a year later, right?
Probably because Shining
Yeah.
was like an 80. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that all those things considered, The Shining probably just took it home. But
So I mean, yeah. So it definitely killed. We know it killed, and it became a cult classic. Not even a cult classic. It just became a classic. You know, and but it wasn't my favorite film from '79. And I hate to admit that my favorite film from '79 had Margot Kidder in it. Superman.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Recommendations, JP. Do you have any recommendations?
Do we want to do recommendations? We'll get into our actual review before we give our recommendations. We changing it up.
Oh my god, yeah. Sorry. I'm a little out of it myself. Let's go.
All right. So your movie, so I go first. So as you can tell, I'm not a fan of this movie. I think. Well, let's talk about. I mean, I'm gonna spit out the positives again. You know, I love how this movie's shot. There's a couple of fantastic scenes. You know, with the nightmare sequences. The opening is okay. The nightmare sequences with James Brolin are fucking great. Some of the scenes with him chopping wood and being kind of psycho, getting the psycho kind of a psycho feel vibe off of him are great. The jump scare with the cat is great. There's really cool things in this film. Man, the pacing's awful. Margot Kidder's awful. I just don't believe James Brolin is flipping from a caring, loving, freshly newlywed husband to possessed psycho in this film. Like he plays psycho great. He just doesn't play the other. I mean, it's kind of the Superman effect. You know, you get somebody who can play Superman great but can't play Clark, or you get somebody who can play Clark great but can't play Superman great. You know, I almost get that vibe from this. Like he's not flipping the script enough for me in this film. So I'm not a fan of this film. I will say, if you are a horror fan completist, this is an essential watch for you. If you're a horror film completist and you want to see the classics and you want to know what people did before, this is a great example of what to do and what not to do in a film, in my opinion. But if you're a horror film completist, you want to see all these classics and think films that gave us better films later, then you have to watch this film. But if you're just wanting to watch this film because it's supposed to be a great film, then skip it. Is my opinion. This is not a good film. I'm tearing this one apart. This one is a 2.2 nerds.
2.2?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You put Party Animal higher than that. That's horrible.
No, I
I
think I
disagree
rated.
with you.
I think I rated Party Animal really low, but I also explained that even though I rated it low, I highly recommend watching it.
Well, I highly recommend watching this one. And for me, the Brolin aspect with this one, for me, it you got to look at the times that this was filmed. You really do, because at the time you had the stern. You didn't have the macho like but soft sided father figures in most instances. It was these cut up dudes who just went to work, used their hands to do everything they did, and they got it done, and they come home and drink their beers. They were cold, kind of callous. They're kind of what brought the Gen X crowd up. So for me, he played the character perfectly. Now, that said, start to finish, this movie kept me on the edge of my seat the first time I saw it as a kid because I just didn't know what was going to happen. And honestly, the first time I watched it, and even now watching it, there was a lot of things that fell short. But the opening sequence with Ronald DeFeo going and killing his family through the whole house, the nightmare sequence with Brolin's character, these things all contribute to amazing even the moments where the girl's locked in the closet. There's different things happening here. The woodcutting scene, all these things build up to a really great film, in my opinion, that doesn't have to have where everybody dies at the end and we see these demons and we see all these things. It didn't need to have all the crazy physical elements. It was just kind of that surrounding atmospheric horror. And I love that. I think if a movie can create atmospheric horror, to me, I think that's something to be said. So for me, this one's a lot higher than JP's. I thought he was gonna at least go up towards a 3, somewhere in there. Jeez. For me, this one's a 3.8 nerds. I think that might be the largest spread we've had between us.
Yeah, we're way off on this one because I knew we were because I knew going in I hated this film and but watched it with open eyes, and tried to give it another chance and just this is just a film that I've never been a fan of.
And I'll do the same for you, brother, when you make me watch Curse of the Queer Wolf.
You're going to fucking love it. You're going
No,
to
I'm not.
fucking love it.
Ah,
It's so bad. It's so bad you're going to love it.
see, if that's like your the way you twisted the words with Party Animal too, because in that one you're like, it's the worst film you've ever seen. Like, or I forgot how you said. What'd you say? Because I want to get your words
I
right.
said something to the effect like it's 1,000 times worse than Porky's.
Do you know what Amityville Horror is better than? The Exorcist 2. Definitely.
You were out of your fucking mind.
No, I'm not,
You were
dude.
out of your
I
fucking mind.
will listen. All right. So to be fair, I will correct what I said in my 1 minute review. I did misquote JP. Now, that said, what the fuck? How could you, dude? The fucking the score alone made me want to turn the whole thing off. And like, come on. That was the worst score I've ever heard in my life. Like, it was so obnoxiously annoying. And for those of you who didn't see the 1 minute review, my wife, she was in the same room as me and we were watching it, and she goes, "Is this planes, trains, and automobiles? Because all they're doing is traveling." And I was like, "That's fair." Now, I did like the furthering the story. I did like how deep they went with the story and the explanation. But yeah, so
See, I
Amityville for me though is awesome.
see. I love the wings brushing the locust idea. The 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 point of that. Like, I don't know, that just really draws me into that film.
I think we're feeling the same way on like so for me with Amityville, the atmospheric aspect drove me in, and there were so many great elements in Exorcist 2. There really were. I just didn't seem to come together, and it was kind of all over the place and chaotic. It wasn't streamlined at all. So it was just sloppy.
Maybe we'll review it one day.
I we This would be a good one. Absolutely would.
Film recommendations.
All right.
Any?
So, yes, and I'm gonna talk about this one because I was just really, really happy. So, for day 25 of the 1-minute reviews that I was doing, I had a fun one. It's a Tubi original, and I'm gonna start off by saying this recommendation with, if you're sleeping on Tubi horror movies, don't. Tubi is such an awesome selection. Yes, there's ads, but they started putting out originals recently, and the originals have just been really, really coming through. For if you like Hills Have Eyes, and if you like the idea of dating apps gone wrong, the movie is called Match. It is to be original, and it is awesome. And it has, I think, not one, not two, not three, but four what the fuck moments where I was like, oh my God. Like it took me back. And the cool thing was I did the 1-minute review, and Danishka Esterhazy, I want to say that right. She's the director, and she commented on it and said, thanks for watching. So I think I was more still like on cloud nine about hearing from the director there. Cause I love, to me, that's not like a fanboy type thing. That's a, uh, person who's invested in their films taking the time to go in and make sure that their film's delivering the way it should, and somebody who cares about the product and what they're putting out. Because there's so many. Look at you've got the interview coming up tomorrow with your friend from Kill Giggles.
Yeah, the
So
Jason, the director writer from Kill Giggle. So if you're watching tonight, tomorrow night, Halloween night, 8 o'clock, you can be in the live chat again. We'll have a live chat tomorrow for a premiere for. I did a guerrilla style interview with and it was a really good interview. So solid. It's a fun fucking interview with Jason, the writer director for the film Kill Giggles, which is available to purchase. It's out there now. Um, so that will be dropping at 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
but to that point though, like people who are invested, and even if it's on the smaller level and the larger level, people don't have to, but the people who are invested in their product and they take the time to go in and talk to the people who are watching their movies, I value those people so much more because they care, they give a shit, and I like that.
So I've got and I always watch out for if you ever scroll down towards the bottom on Fandango at home, there is a um new to digital or new to stream section where like films that have never been or on digital available on digital to buy or whatnot. And you know me, there's always these films I'm waiting to finally hit digital, and there's one in particular that um under this new to stream that I do think this one was available at one point, but it went away at some point. And it's one that I have been waiting to come back so I could buy it and put it within my digital library. And you would be surprised at what film this is. You would think that this film would be available to purchase and have in your digital library, but it has not been. It has been available to rent, but not to purchase.
Land the plane.
American Werewolf in London. So
Really?
that hit uh, today as we're filming, which today is Tuesday. Uh, it finally hit uh, Fandango where you can buy it to actually add to your digital library. So I am recommending American Werewolf in London because it's Halloween and that is my favorite werewolf film. I mean, American Werewolf in London. I mean, it has Nazi werewolves. It's fucking.
and
It's
and
great.
that movie this year, I'm gonna say this year because next year I'm gonna put The Howling and I'm gonna put American Werewolf in London back together and watch them again. But this year is the first year that I will openly admit and say that American Werewolf in London dethroned The Howling as my number one favorite werewolf movie because the rewatch is phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. American Werewolf in London is just it's how a werewolf film should be done. It is a blueprint for how it should be done and what came
Well,
after it. People fucked up. Yeah.
well, both those films, I think, are
Yeah.
stunning in their own
Yeah.
right. But yeah, there's something, I don't know what it is. I just love the abrupt and direct ending of American Werewolf in London so much. Like it just, oh. Anyways,
Yeah. And even like him seeing his dead friend throughout the fucking film. Like there's so many things that are just off the rails in that fucking film, but work. They fucking
mhm.
work. It's just American Wolf in London is a far, far leaps and bounds better werewolf movie than Wolfman ever thought about being. And it's a better classic than Amityville ever could ever dream about being.
Listen, if we're gonna keep talking shop, we're gonna talk some shop. Okay, it's gonna get dirty. Put your big boy britches on. We're going in.
I got my Chucky pajama pants on. Let's go.
Oh boy.
All righty.
At least you're wearing something from here down. You guys don't know.
CineNerdsPodcast.com. That's where you can get all the CineNerds information, videos, audios, reels. I've got a link for our reels there now. Upcoming episodes, written reviews, and there's a shop there. Ryan, take it.
Well, I think you see that I'm wearing the hoodie. And by the way, I'm gonna further this hoodie thing. I love this hoodie. I'm gonna buy a couple more of the hoodies because
You have had that hoodie on every day since you got it that I have seen.
this is the most comfortable hoodie I've ever worn. So I keep it on all the time, especially as we've gotten colder. I recently started painting outside, so even like as long as I'm not getting paint near it, I wear this when I'm at work because it keeps me warm. But yeah, I love this thing. So definitely check out the shop if you want to support some merch. That aside, we've taken a lot of time to put into our 1 minute reviews and JP's recommendation videos. So please make sure you check those out and give us some feedback. If there's something you want to see us do a 1 minute review on, let us know.
I'm actually going to switch it up, and which is still going to be recommend videos, but I'm going to do a 10 days of. And I'm going to start doing 10 days of reels. So it'd be 10 days of recommendations of this type of film or this type of film or something. That's what I actually made that decision today. I've got all my reels made for between now and Halloween. So after Halloween, that's what's coming for me.
We're gonna get fun with it. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys have an amazing and safe Halloween, but watch a ton of awesome horror movies while you can.
And if you're free tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, join me for the live chat. We have and Ryan. I don't know if Ryan will be available for live chat, but the interview with Kill Giggles director tomorrow night at 8. And till next time,
Later.
peace.